pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the guests in attendance. All right, we do have a form. It's an open director position and also Director Ware, not present. Approval of the agenda. There's a couple items to add on. First would be 5.1 under reports, FFA reports. Then I've also got 5.2 report on the Washington DC trip. Mrs. Gilbertson. Then I've got two other agenda items to add on. This would be under 8.2 under personnel. And we've got two additional teachers to for consideration for tenure. That'd be Jessica Carlson and also Tiffany Portwick. And then one final would be 10.11, which would be hearing for a school trip or motion to approve a school trip to Washington, DC in 2026.
Leave a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Second. Okay. Motion by Director Marcus, seconded by Director Fosston to approve the agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Moving into 3.0 consent agenda. Approve, not approve. Consent agenda items 3.1 through 3.7. I'll just read through these real quick for the visitors. 3.1 minutes from regular meeting July 15th. 3.2 finance checks and wires. 3.3 payroll checks and direct deposits. 3.4 resignation of ES paraprofessional Cooper Wilson. 3.5 hire of ES paraprofessional Jennifer Carsley. Pending background check. 3.6 hire of ES paraprofessional Michelle Mullmunger. 3.7 hire of high school paraprofessional Morgan LaFerrier, pending background check.
Those hires are all their responsibility.
As of now.
No.
What was the question?
With the 3 para hires, wondering if they're all filled now.
Almost. One more. We're working on it. Oh, yeah.
I make a motion to approve consent agenda.
Second.
Motion by Director Kristen, seconded by Director Munter. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. 4.0, any public comments tonight? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move into 5.0, student, staff, constituent reports. Representatives of FFA, do you have reports for us? Yep. If you do, come on over in front of the TV. That'd be great.
Right out in the front. Yeah. Gotta get you on TV.
I am Parker Nelson, our chapter sentinel, and I'm here to report our summer, what we've been up to this summer. And if you guys don't mind, I'll use my phone a lot. That's where my notes are. Real quick.
Can I ask what the sentinel is?
So like for our meetings and stuff, I have to like make sure everyone is not talking, being rude and stuff like that. Usually I will be preparing meals before each meeting. I can have help with that. I can ask someone, whoever is able to, if they want to help me. So,
Yeah. Could you do that for me with this group here? Little dinner and keep them under wraps. So
we started our summer off with our roadside cleanup on Highway 59. And then we had our officer retreat to Grand Forks with all of our officers, just kind of like a team bonding kind of thing. And then Alexis Bailey, our region president, attended the Washington Leadership Conference in DC. And then we had two members attend the Greenhand Leadership Conference June 24th through the 28th in Hackensack. And then for July, the chapter had a float in town on July 6th for the 4th of July parade. And the chapter had seven members attend the state leadership conference for chapter leaders July 17th through 19th. Me and Tanner were both one of the people who were able to attend to that. It was a bit of fun when I got there. I was like, I don't know about this, but it ended up being a lot of fun. So I was looking forward to next year to go to that. And then we had our we have had students working on their SAE projects. It's pretty much like you log your hours and time and like what you've been doing. Like if you live on a farm or if you started your own business, it's just like a summer class to get an extra credit. And Donovan is the teacher for that. She attends it's called a site visit that she does. And then she goes to that. You have one once in the summer. And me and Tanner also are two students taking that class. And then we're looking forward to start the school year with our first meeting September 12th and our first CDE contest October 9th. And that is all I have. If you guys have any questions, I can do my best to answer.
I don't know if anybody saw their float at the 4th of July, but it was rowdy. There were two in front of us. I'm pretty sure they were spraying everyone.
Where are the officers for the upcoming year?
Me, Tanner, Timothy Peralt, Kaylee,
Yeah, me and Sam.
yeah.
So we have Alex Johnson as president, and then myself, Tanner Big, as vice president. We have Julie Stahl as officer at large, Kaylee Klima as our secretary, and we have Anna Jackson as our historian and parliamentarian. We also have Timothy Peralt as our treasurer, and then Parker Nelson as our sentinel.
Nice.
Anything else? Hand it off to Tanner.
Thank you, Parker.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
So like I just said, I'm Tanner Big, and I'm the vice president for our chapter, and I will be asking for approval to attend the 97th annual national convention in Indianapolis, Indiana. It will be from October 22nd and will return October 27th early morning. It costs $575 to attend, but we luckily got some support from our FFA alumni, and they're going to help pay for some of that. We have 11 members currently wanting to attend, and it will be held in like Lucas Oil Stadium, like it was last year, and it will be heading over to the convention center right next to it. There's some things that will be done there, like we have a rodeo, there's a concert, there's lots of stuff. It's the largest youth gathering in US. It's just a lot of different stuff that will be going on there. The $575 does pay for our transportation, our hotel fees, our registration for national convention, but it does not include meals. Students will be on their own to pay for that. Members must turn in money and permission slips by September 23rd to Mrs. Donovan. And there's just a lot of different workshops that go on at that conference, just leadership stuff. There's some Christian events that go on there too. There's a lot of different workshops that members can attend if they want to.
Is this the third year in a row you guys would go down there?
Yep.
You go last year?
Yep, I went last year. It was lots of fun. We went to the rodeo last year. We couldn't get in the concert because that's just very hard to get to the concert. Donovan was refreshing the page right when it opens, and it goes within the first 5 minutes. Tickets.
Who was the concert?
I think last year might have been Lainey Wilson.
Dana, what are the dates again this year?
October 22nd, we'll leave and we'll come back on October 27th, early morning.
And last year, correct me, another school rode with us or a couple?
Yep,
schools
we'll
rode
be,
with us?
we'll be going with the Region 1 bus again. So that is our whole entire region, it's just like Section 8A, it's just a couple schools that are going is like Climax usually goes, Crookston, Thief River Falls, and Rothsay, Pelican Rapids, just a whole different variety of people from our region.
So the cost of the bus is shared amongst all the.
Yeah, it gets split out between the schools.
Yep.
Is there any other questions that people have?
So just to clarify, Principal Narski, this is a formal request on behalf of FFA.
Right, to take students across state lines. Yep.
I would make a motion that we approve the FFA convention trip.
Okay, we got a motion by Director Bosler, seconded by Director Munker to approve the FFA trip for October 23rd roughly?
So we'll
22nd,
leave on the 22nd.
okay.
Second to the 27th.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Good job. Good luck. Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
I didn't know it had to be a separate agenda
I
item.
know, I wasn't sure if it needed to be specific on
That's
it.
why I was waiting.
Yeah, it's specific interest. Reports, continuing on. This is Gilbertson. Washington DC.
Yes. It probably wasn't the best time of the year to go. I mean, pretty hot in July. We had 20 kids from Fosston go and 7 adults, including myself, which parents who did not go probably appreciated that. I know some people were worried that there wouldn't be many adults there. There were also several chaperones in the company there too. So we left school around 9 o'clock Sunday night, and we got to the airport around 3 in the morning. It was a long day, but we did a lot. We got through it. I think it was just a good experience for kids, getting to see everything. Also, being able to go to the airport and all of that. Many of them had never flown, which made me nervous too, because speaking with my own kids, they were worried about carry-ons. Was a carry-on too big? What would happen if it was too big? And all of those things. So life lessons there, I guess. We went with Winnie Mac just because we didn't have a target number. So, yeah. I guess you guys have any questions?
Did you go with other schools too?
Just Winnie Mac.
Just
There
Winnie
were
Mac,
some other
okay.
schools that went there at the same time, but not with us.
Okay, I saw pictures and it seemed like there was quite a large group, but
Yeah,
I mean, having 20 kids just from,
the numbers
Yeah,
are pretty
plus seven.
comparable from Winnie Mac too.
yeah.
Just not 2 buses at the same time.
Did they? Okay.
So they work with many schools and everything was really planned out. Kids had to wear these badges and they had the numbers, the phone numbers of the chaperones through the company. So if they got lost, they knew who to call.
Mhm.
The food was ready everywhere.
Adults got to eat first.
Everyone.
How are the accommodations? Hotel.
I thought that they were fine. There were some complaints about ice machines not working,
Mhm.
but there's gonna be something everywhere, I
Yeah.
guess. But there were a lot of connections with things that we talked about at school, especially at the Holocaust Museum, so was a good experience for the kids.
That's very good.
Do you have potential dates or events?
Oh, yeah, sorry. So July 21st through the 24th, 2026. It seems weird to be bringing it up now because we just went. The reason why I'm bringing it up now is because if we have signups next month, it will be cheaper for parents the month of June, because it will be more installments.
What target audience are we looking for next?
This year's 6th and 7th graders, so they'll be going into 8th and 9th.
Have you talked with the company yet? Do they have a final price or we have to?
They already have the final price. It would be around 120 a month. And we might be with winning back again. So if we're with another school, it would be winning back.
Okay.
So that'll be bringing back to their old part.
So you say 125 a month for the next 2 years for that payment plan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Allison, you attended as well, correct?
Mhm.
Safety, security wise, comfortable. I traveled with this group, this company when I was principal in Grand Forks, so. And, I thought all those things were, everything was pretty well taken care of. There wasn't any wonder or question, or they were ready and restaurants were ready and ticketing was done and all, but
Well,
There were
so,
a few things that we talked about that might go a little bit better next time, just to make sure that our kids aren't getting mixed up with kids from other groups, so we can spot them easier. The small things like that we've learned now that we've gone on the trip.
but yeah, everybody has those tags, and then our group always had 2 chaperones from the company as well as our parents with, and then, also a tour guide. And then other groups were almost always at the same things at the same time, so that it was like, I mean, there were just people from the company everywhere, and then all the kids wore those tags. And they were all supposed to stay with somebody all the time. And we kind of had our ones that we were, kind of like, oh, they like to wander, off by themselves, so we made sure that we we kept tabs on everybody too, but I felt pretty safe about the whole thing.
Any other questions for Ms. Gilbertson?
No, my daughter went this last one. She had a really great time.
She got to be a VIP the whole time.
Huh?
She got to be a VIP.
I heard
the whole
about
time.
There wasn't quite enough room on the bus when we had the tour guide, so we had an overflow Suburban. that a few kids
For the chauffeur, what was
For
it?
group.
Group, that's
Yeah.
right.
So 4 girls from our group and one of the company chaperones rode in a Suburban behind us, which might have been a little safer.
I would encourage everyone to hop on it and go.
Yeah.
Yep, I thought it was an excellent experience for kids and adults. I thought it was the tour guide was very patriotic and very knowledgeable and engaged the kids. And I think it was just something that really drove home what they're learning at school. It was really good.
Mhm. I'd like to move the 10.11 up, and actually take a motion on allowing the kids to take the trip in 2026. If somebody would like to make that motion.
Second.
Motion to approve, Washington DC school trip 2026. Motion by Director Munter, seconded by Director Bossler. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Now you don't have to stick around.
I still have to take notes.
Oh, perfect, thank you. 6.0. Fund balance report.
Yeah. In your packet, obviously just 1 month completed of the new fiscal year. July 1 of 24 was the start of our fiscal year. So not a ton of financing has happened this month. As you know, we did complete our audit back in, June. And, so we're starting into the new year. We do still have the ability to go back into fiscal year 23 to pay off some things that come in, but we think that really for the most part, everything is pretty wrapped up from 23. So this is the first months, of the new fiscal year. And, you can see the different numbers there, not all that telling yet. Some of the revenue side has not been finalized yet, so Joan just continues with her process of being conservative on the revenue side, trying to be as inclusive as she can on the expense side to project the numbers for the next school year, or for the current school year. If you look at the so the fund balance there, if you look at the expense revenue summary, because that's really where we're at for the first month here. You can see the percentages of year to date to the budget line items. The debt redemption is the payoff bond. So we collect that throughout the year and then we pay that off as the year goes on. Then if you look at the bond report, we're remaining at that just under 60 grand as a balance there. 59,358. As we've stated in the past, that likely will be spent down this year at some of, not as an LTF family expense because that's a different pot of money, but in conjunction with some of the things that, as far as maintenance throughout the district, we expect to spend that bond money down to zero this school year.
We're figuring out that elementary tables are coming out of this year's budget. It could
Nope.
be-
No, that came out of,
last fiscal year.
yeah, but it came out of,
General fund.
food service. So,
Oh,
yeah, so the senior high tables, we tried to do that and the state didn't let us. Then when we moved to another year, they did allow that, so, that's where the tables came out of this year. Which was a much smaller amount than the high school project, but nonetheless. So that summarizes our, 6.1, 2, and 3.
okay. So,
Yep.
Over the last couple of months, we did receive some donations, so we got 6.4.1 Grand Forks Shields backpack and shoes. That was in our packet.
Mr. Nenarski, if you headed that program up, you could speak to it if we wanted to get a little report on what that all was about.
Something we applied for.
Yep, it's something I had applied for, so a couple of years back, probably 1 or 2 years ago, I got on the local news that one of the Fargo schools had applied to Shields and got X number of shoes. So I saved it, applied for it this spring, and so I believe I received 20 different pairs of shoes, ranging in different sizes, because in case we have some people in the junior high, elementary that might need, and then same thing with backpacks. We got 20 different types of backpacks. So the backpacks, I'm gonna hand off to Ellen, and she'll distribute those to the kids that she knows in need of, as well as a little bit of the shoes. But the shoes primarily, I'm gonna hand over to Ben and let him, because a lot of times he would come to me and say, hey, I have students that just don't have shoes for Payette. And so he'll have access to that. So.
mhm.
So yeah, I greatly appreciate Shields, being so generous with the donation.
Well, thank you for applying for it too, Mr. Bernarski. Looks here that it was about estimated value about just under $1,900, so appreciate it.
With Shields, you're gonna get quality stuff, so.
All the agendas written, I'm gonna go through all the other donations and we'll have a motion to approve all of them here too. For next item, 6.4.2, state track charter bus donations. So with, donations from Aspire Realty, Cease Family Funeral Homes, Essential Health, Fosston Community Club, Fosston Family Dental, Fosston Langby Lions, Galen Supermarket and Hardware, Minnesota Strong, Moorhead, Nord's Pharmacy and Gifts as well.
Mr. Bosser, could maybe speak to that? Just,
Yeah,
if you want to give any synopsis of that?
Yeah, I mean, we had about a 3-day period to try to come up with some money to get a charter bus. All of these businesses and groups were amazing and put forth money. And we took a bus down with, 10 or so people. It was a little overkill, but it was a heck of an experience for the kids. They really were relaxed and kind of felt like they were being, pampered going down to state, like some of the other programs have felt. And whether or not that's the reason they performed so well, I will never know because they won't let me do it any other way anymore. But we went down there and, won 3 different events. So it took second place as a team with only, 5 kids competing, that scored points. So, they performed remarkable and, much thanks to all of these businesses and everybody else who supported the program.
Mr. Vossler. And then we had one other donation, 6.4.3, which is David Sander for archery supplies as well.
I can just give a little background on that. So we own archery supplies. Archery supplies get beat up, they get used, they break down or whatever. David Sander came in and spent, what did I hear? How many hours fixing all of ours archery supplies, bows, arrows, heads, string, I don't know what, I'm not an archer myself, but, he didn't donate any money, but he donated a heck of a lot of time, and we thought that he obviously deserved recognition as well. That's a school program that is operated through our PE department, and the supplies there were of need of some TLC, and David was willing to provide that for us, so we thank him for that as well.
Thank you. Well, I make a motion to approve all donations 6.4.1 through 6.4.3.
I'll second that with many thanks to all of our donors.
Motion by Director Christensen, seconded by Director Marcus, with many thanks to the donors. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. 7.0 reports. Mr. Bushy.
Yes, item number 1. Somewhat of an update with enrollment as of today. Actually, just today we had some changes too, so very fluid right now. But that can kind of give you an idea where we're at on K through 6 at the elementary. Right now we're at 302, and then our pre-K numbers will be announced at a later date. That's too far out right now to get a solid number on that. And so if you look at the way we ended in May of 2024, we had 310. Obviously, we are exiting from this past school year a bigger 6th grade and bringing in about an average size kindergarten. So I would say an average 40 to 45 per grade. As you can see, looking at it, we'll have 50 in grade 3 as of right now, and that could change, but that's one of our bigger classes there. So on average, about 40 to 45 per grade. So we're happy with the enrollment right now where it's at, and I expect that it could go back and forth here over the next couple weeks before we get started. Any questions on enrollment? Okay. The second item, it's a part of the report, so I can wait until 8.1, the following service schedule. Then as admin, we can go through that. Item number 2 or 3, again, another item on the agenda is the elementary student handbook, so I can answer any questions there at that point if you have any. Just an update on some meetings and trainings. it hasn't been announced yet. I'll have to reach out to ministerial. Usually we would meet probably like this week or early next week to look at, scheduling of whether it be Friday school or just having conversations and kind of admin meetings between school admin and ministerial. So I'll reach out to them and see if we can get together. Typically though, our Friday school at the elementary is the last Friday. It starts the last Friday of September, ends the last Friday in April. And I don't foresee that changing. I'm sure the high school would be the same schedule that they've had. That's been probably the biggest topic of the discussion meeting, ministerial, how's that going? Transportation and all the other questions come along with that, but the dates are pretty much set for that. August 5th, we had Big Ideas math curriculum implementation training. Big Ideas is our new math for K through 5. And it was a virtual training, watching a video. So it wasn't live interaction. So there are some pros to that, and obviously there's cons to that, but it was the first step in our implementation. I think what came out of that was probably better discussions in small groups, meeting at grade level, probably, and taking information from the video and using that information to expand conversation. So that was, again, that was all K through 5 teachers on August 5th. August 15th, last Thursday, we had an ASIC, that's our area service co-op. We had a meeting, great meeting. There's been a lot of changeover with personnel with ASIC, and some of that changeover has affected us here in Fosston. With same positions, just different people. So they introduced some of the new names that will be working with us here in Fosston. Also updated us on anything that's happening up in the world of special ed. Helped us maneuver SPED forms. That's like an electronic version of special education, so we're able to do that. In this case, our teachers, but us as admin. And then they talked again about where they're at with the level 4 building. That discussion started last year, a year ago. Level 4 is probably one of some of the more extreme needs, and they're looking at a central location in Crookston, building a physical building for level 4 students. So I think that's probably about 5 years out, but give us an update on that. So it was a good day there. And then just today, I had a crisis team training with Denise Stanke. Crisis team, I'm talking about medical emergencies. We have a team at the elementary. We got updated on CPR. We got updated on meeting other medical needs. Narcan was one of them. God forbid we ever have to use that at the elementary, but we'll be ready if we have to. But it was great training. We'll continue that, implement our plan, and then present that to our staffs and our crisis team. On our team at the elementary, it's myself, obviously Denise Stanke last week, and Kristen Normal. So a lot of it was just renewal and updating our CPR, but also introducing new things that we need to be trained on. And then Denise and I will put a plan together, and that will be executed this year. And we'll do a couple of drills with our crisis team throughout the year. Last night, just a big thank you to the building grounds. I don't know if any of you have been over to the elementary, but the hallways are wax, classrooms are spotless. And Scott, when you mentioned the elementary tables, they're assembled and up in our cafeteria. They look great.
Oh, nice.
So, same tables that they have here at the high school. We have, I think it was 4 round tables, and then the rest of them are the bigger oval. It looks so different, looks so good. Doesn't look like an institution.
So those weren't even set up for this, some food program in June then?
No,
Okay.
this is the
So we-
last couple of weeks. That
Okay. Kids will be
Okay.
excited.
Yeah, oh yeah, they'll be excited. So, yeah, that's what I have. Any questions?
For me, it's Mr. Bushy. Mr. Donarski.
Yep, I'll pick up where Dan left off. Again, thanks to James and his staff for obviously the maintenance that they've done here in our building as far as the floors, the rooms,
You probably noticed that it came through the commons, it's set up slightly different than it has been in the past. So his staff been busy, reshuffling, whether it's our tables and booths and such, to setting up a different flow for emptying trays and things like that, things that should help with, just simply that, the flow of students. Also the painting of the walls, if you notice out there in the commons, that's both sides of the walls have been painted, so, again, appreciate all their efforts and I will say as well, just in, viewing of his staff, I mean, they work and they work hard. They are time on task. His staff up here at the high school do a great job. We're very fortunate to have who we have. Parent letters pertaining to the start of the school year have been mailed out, so, pertaining to their class schedule, whether or not there is a handful of students that still maybe need to fill in a void in their overall schedule. Letters pertaining to the open house reminder, which is August 28th. And then, of course, trying to reemphasize, even though the point of free meals, but we still want that free and reduced paperwork completed, because obviously that impacts us on different funding as well as classification within the high school league. We already mentioned about the donation from Shields. Next item, I officially completed all my coursework through Morehead State, and so that is moving on to my 5-year licensure.
Congratulations.
Next item, attending the ASAC meeting, as Dan mentioned. One of the big things that, this is the third time I've attended, and in the previous 2 years, it seemed like a lot of repetitive information, but this year where we actually got to dig into sped forms and navigate through that was really helpful, because then as administrators, we can now go about viewing, making sure that our students are getting the correct number of service minutes, who has the larger caseloads, all those different things, making sure, and in the world of SPED, it is a lot of paperwork. And so as an administrator, that's part of our role, is just simply making sure that, legally those things are being taken care of. The other thing that Dan and I were there this year was a couple of handbooks, so what all principals should know about special ed. Section 504, the myths and realities, and then avoiding legal disputes within special ed. So I think just real good supplemental material for both Dan and I. The other one, I've attended the Polk County Crisis Management meeting. That was about 2 weeks ago. It was a 2-day meeting, and really what it is, it's a select group of people from neighboring school districts. So there's some other principals, there's other superintendents, other people that are in like social work, things like that. And so collectively, our role within this crisis group is, let's just say, for example, there was a situation that occurred over in Crookston, whether it be maybe a death of a staff member or student, we would assemble and then go and assist in any way that they would feel the need of assistance. And that in itself was a good supplemental in-service as well, that kind of came back to what, Todd last year brought in, Kelly Adams, and we did circle and stuff. And so within this Polk County Crisis Management, we implement that as well. So it was nice to make the connection between the two.
Likewise, if we were to experience some type of a situation here, these people would be able to come in and assist us.
Yep. And then, and that's the whole thing. And those are situations that, again, heaven forbid you ever have to face. But there's no training for that per se. It's a situation that occurs, and you need as many hands of help in those situations. So I'm glad to be a part of that. Staff are back in the building officially August 27th with our in-service, as we'll touch on a little bit later. And then fall sports, of course, they kicked off on the, I believe, 12th of August. And so if you go to our school website, you will see next Thursday that football, swimming, cross country, and volleyball are all competing on that day, so. And then the last thing, of course, the handbook, and that's another agenda item, so.
Thanks, Don.
Me?
Yep.
All right. Put down a few things that I've been, thinking about working on, others have been talking to me about, but, Prairie Pines Children's Child Care Center, PPCC, shared with me some numbers, and I'm on their board over there, so I kind of know the numbers, but, we have a 3-year lease with them. This would be year 2, but there is language in there for either side to step out of the lease if need be. I think we're gonna need to start looking for a location as soon as next school year. Their numbers are increasing. They're not using the lower level now, which is the theory that we have leased. If their program continues to expand, they're gonna need to go into that level to be able to serve their kids. And at that point in time, we would be without a home. So that's something we'll keep an eye on throughout the year. It's somewhat easy for me to do that as a board member of the Prairie Pines Children's Child Care Center. But nonetheless, as we roll into the next January, I think we'll have a pretty good idea of what our needs are gonna be, what their needs are gonna be, which then will dictate what our needs will be for next school year. We had an admin meeting last Wednesday, and when Don and Dan and I meet often, but when I say admin meeting, then we bring in Steve and Ryan into those as well. Covered a lot of items about the start of the year, as we would do every year at this point in time. We still have some things to do, and when I wrote this last week, we got some more of those things accomplished today. But we're pretty well ready to roll out the school year. And really the school year, in some ways, it started with our fall athletic teams already starting, but when we get teachers and staff in the building next week, we'll know that we've really begun. Filing closed last Tuesday for the filing for the school board positions that will be on the ballot this fall in November. We had 4 candidates that filed and we'll have 4 open positions for the general election in November. Staff in service has been talked about multiple times now, but it begins on Tuesday at 8 a.m. When we get to that, I need to make note, Dan, of the change that we made to that Thursday schedule for the board. Good numbers again for our fall athletic teams, and their games matches are starting here very soon. I think we are looking for 1 para and 1 custodian yet to be hired. Aluma, this is concerning. Aluma was unable to staff positions for us at this point in time for this school year. We've had 2 positions with them in years past. We knew that 1 person had resigned in May, and they were looking for a replacement of that person. In about June or July, the other person resigned to take a job in Jamestown, North Dakota. So both Luma people we have had in the past have separated from Aluma. Excuse me, 1 is separated from Luma, the other one is being reassigned to another school district. Nonetheless, we are without at this point in time. That creates a void for us, kind of in our SEL mental health area that is concerning to us. We actually just met tonight at 5 o'clock, Dan and Don and I. We have some ideas. We need to pursue some things this week. We may be looking at a staffing situation that we would bring to you sooner than later.
Do we have a contract with them? Are they contractually obligated to provide someone?
Well, yes and no. I mean, yes, they are, but a lot out of return, yeah. And
Do they have
unfortunately,
any staff?
they are going to be manning that
Is that
offsite location now here in town.
an option for them?
Our kids can go there, but again, that is quite a bit of different delivery model than what we've had.
Right.
Because our kids could be seen in school. Come
Since
on,
they're already in town, couldn't we have discussions with them about?
I'll give you their phone number. It seems easy, but it's not. Yeah, it's just not, we just can't, they won't commit. anybody to us right now.
Can I just comment on that? real
Yeah.
quick? A lot of the services that they offer there, there's already a long waiting list. So that is like outside school run. So what Loom was able to offer to us in our building was they were here on site.
Mhm.
So yes, families and kids can go outside of the school district for our Luma services, but they're on a waiting list for months to see if they can get in there.
Yeah.
So that's that.
And so the people that they have staffed there have more than they can handle. Gotcha. Yeah. And so, there's insurance involved with that and billing involved with that. That's why I say it's just not quite, it seems like we have a huge need here. You've got people right over there, bring them over, or, but it's just not quite that easy. If you recall back when we approved the calendar, last February or March, we had a day on there, or a night on there, which we're calling Community Service Night. Counts as part of a staff day, one of the 180 staff days that our staff will put in. We will be out in our community that evening, serving the community in various ways. We will be taking solicitation for service from our community in a variety of ways. We'll also be reaching out to people to see how we can help them directly, but you will see our staff in our community that evening, basically doing a service project around our community. We think it's a great way for the join hands with the community, thank them for the things that they do for us, and a way for us to try and get back to them. And as of today, 14 days till school start. That's my report.
Thank you, Mr. Silk.
Yeah.
Now, if we move on to personnel 8.1, so we've got the 2024 fall in-service schedule. So we've got teachers, staff reporting, looks like starting Wednesday, 21st.
Yeah.
Yes. Go ahead, Dan.
As you can see, August 1st through the August 23rd is a floating day. So that's teachers can put in time there. But yeah, we do have new teacher orientation starting on Wednesday, August 23rd. That's new teachers. And then Monday, 26th, we have support staff orientation. Paras or any support staff that fit those job descriptions will attend that. And then our overall formal in-service starts on Tuesday, the 27th. So you can take a look at that. And the one thing that Todd mentioned before we had to make a switch on Thursday from our original schedule. We had Mr. Selk giving the state of the school district address in the morning. We had switched that now to right before lunch due to, I think it was due to April having time with some of our sub teachers that work in our district, which is a great thing. So the change is not, it's a minor change. And I will say this, for me personally at the elementary, we were supposed to have some training from Fastbridge on Tuesday. That is getting changed. And I just confirmed it tonight before the meeting. That is going to be switched to Thursday. So there is a little bit of tweaking that still needs to happen. That will only affect the elementary. But the overall big part for all district employees or for everybody together was Mr. Selk's state of the school district was changed. So
Yeah, and really what prompted that is we want to include our substitute teachers, as many of them as possible that could come. So we want to have them for lunch on Thursday, as you see. In fact, that includes all staff, which school board members are certainly part of our staff. So everyone is welcome to lunch on Thursday. In order to get our substitute teachers in here and not have a disjointed day for them, we tweaked that. So everyone is invited to my address at 11:15, right from the gymnasium. We will come into the cafeteria and have lunch. And then after lunch, our substitutes will meet with April on some different things that she needs to share with them. It keeps the substitutes into a condensed day rather than here, leave, come back, that type of thing. So 11:15 officially from the school board standpoint, you are welcome to be here. If you don't care to hear me speak, which that's totally your choice, you can still come at noon for lunch. And it'll be a lunch worthwhile. That's all I'm gonna say. It's a lunch worthwhile. You'll have to come and see if you think it's worthwhile. It's gonna be a busy 3 days, but it's a good 3 days. There's tons of energy in both buildings around the district. A lot of smiling faces, a lot of catching up from the summer, and a lot of work that goes into getting ready for the start of the school year from our staff standpoint. Of which should highlight as well on Wednesday, the 28th, open houses in both buildings beginning at 4 o'clock. That's just informational. There's really no action.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah, I would think the speech would be the highlight, not the meeting.
Well, you'll have to decide for yourself.
Yeah,
I like the meal, I know that. I hope the speech does justice.
maybe we'll have some ballots.
Yeah.
That day. Perfect, thank you for that overview.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to 8.2, we got some, consideration of tenure for teachers. First one on the agenda would be, approve, not approve tenure of high school ag teacher Mila Donovan. So I,
Motion in the second on each of these individually.
Yeah.
so,
And roll call as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
roll call vote too, so, I'll make a motion to approve the tenure of Mila Donovan. Motion by Director Kristen, seconded by Director Munter to approve the tenure of Mila Donovan for Fosston High School ag teacher. Any further discussion? I have a roll call vote here. Mr. DuPont,
Yes.
Mrs. Munter?
Yep.
Bustler,
Yes.
Allison,
Yes.
and Kristen, yes. Motion is approved to offer tenure to Mila Donovan. 8.2.2, approve, not approve tenure of high school English teacher Taylor Bueller.
Motion to approve tenure for Taylor Bueller.
Second.
Motion by Director DuPont, seconded by Director Vossler to, for tenure to Taylor Bueller. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll continue with roll call vote for this question. Director DuPont,
Yes.
Director Munter, Director Vossler,
Yes.
Director Marcus,
Yes.
Director Kristen, yes. Motion carries. Approve, not approve tenure of elementary teacher Jessica Carlson.
Make a motion to approve tenure for Jessica Carlson.
Second.
Motion by Director Vossler, seconded by Director Marcus to approve tenure for Jessica Carlson. Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote. Director DuPont,
Yes.
Director Munter,
Yes.
Director Vossler,
Yes.
Director Marcus,
Yes.
Director Kristen, yes. Motion is approved. And approve, not approve tenure of elementary teacher Tiffany Ortwich.
Make a motion to approve tenure for Tiffany Ortwich.
I'll second.
Motion by Director Vossler, seconded by Director Marcus to approve tenure for Tiffany Ortwich. Any further discussion? Seeing none, continue with roll call vote. Director DuPont,
Yes.
Director Munter,
Yes.
Director Vossler,
Yes.
Director Marcus,
Yes.
Director Kristen, yes. Motion carries. Excellent. Moving on, 9.0, educational. 9.1, approve, not approve 2024-2025 high school parent student handbook. So that was distributed earlier in the week in the board packet. I think the changes were highlighted in red.
just have one question, the stuff with the strike through, is that stuff that's gonna be eliminated then, once the final version comes out? Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Everything looked good. Appreciate the time put into it. It's definitely what we hold our students accountable to. And, that's why it's so important to get it approved here too. We got your back, or you got our backing. I make a motion to approve the 2024-2025 high school parent student handbook.
I'll second.
Motion by Director Kristen, seconded by Director Marcus to approve, the handbook. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion is approved. 9.2, approve, not approve, 2024-2025 elementary school parent student handbook.
Make a motion to approve the 24-25 elementary school parent student handbook.
Second.
Motion by Director Marcus, seconded by Director Bossler to approve elementary student parent handbook. Any further discussion? Thank you, Mr. Bushy, on your work with this. Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. 10.0, operational. So we got 10.1, we probably just approve all these bids together.
Well, do it separately.
That's separate.
All right, 10.1.1, approve, not approve a bid for, milk from Prairie Farms.
Only bid we received. Very consistent with what they've done in the past. Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Director Bossler, seconded by Director DePong to approve, milk bid from Prairie Farms. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion is approved. 10.1.2, bread, Bimbo Bakeries USA or Panel Gold. We got two.
We got two bids there. If you compare the pricing, I think, Bimbo had one line item where their pricing was, slightly better than Panel Gold. Otherwise, Panel Gold's pricing was better. Panel Gold is who we've had in the past. Administrative recommendation would be to accept the bid for Panel Gold.
Do you purchase any free stuff? That becoming.
We do some, but not in any great quantity.
Okay.
But if the student has a gluten-free diet request, our cooks have been able to meet some of it. Yep.
I was just curious.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure if it was a large enough
No,
item
but we do have
to
some.
where we need to reach out.
Yeah. And where we purchase that, I couldn't answer that, but I know that we do accommodate some families.
Make a motion to approve the Panel Gold company's, bid for bread.
Second.
Motion by Director Kristen, seconded by Director Marcus to approve Panel Gold Baking Company's bid for bread. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. 10.1.3, fuel bid.
One bid from Lapeers Oil Company, And you can see their bid in there, and basically we're paying the pump price minus federal tax, which would be consistent with what, we paid in the past. And we've been with Lapeer Oil for quite some time. I don't even know how long, a long time.
Yeah. Make a motion to approve the fuel bid.
Second.
Motion by Director Kristen, seconded by Director Munter to approve fuel bid for Lapeer Oil Company. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. 10.1.4 snow removal.
One bid from Lennis Sand and Gravel. We had another inquire, but officially no one submitted. Only Lennis Sand and Gravel submitted a bid. So recommendation is to accept that bid.
Make a motion to accept the bid from Lennis and Gravel.
Second.
Motion by Director Marcus, seconded by Director Bossler to approve snow removal bid by Sand and Gravel. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. 10.2 certification of budget hearing for December 16th, 2024 at 6:30.
This is a requirement of us annually. This is our truth and taxation hearing. We hold it in December, or we've traditionally held it in December, half hour prior to our regular school board meeting. December meeting is December 16th. Currently the schedule for 7 p.m. regular board meeting, which would put our truth and taxation at 6:30 on that date.
Is there a band concert that night? I know we've been into that all the past.
You know,
That was usually Thursdays though, when we had our meetings Thursdays,
Is it
right?
on the schedule? Probably not yet.
I don't know if it is, but Ryan had the our board meeting scheduled, so I doubt that there is one on that date. And yeah.
I'll make a motion to schedule that certification on budget hearing for December 16th, 2024 at 6:30 p.m.
Second.
Motion by Director Kristen, seconded by Director Marcus. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Or, excuse me, April will complete that document and submit it to the county on our behalf.
Thanks, April. Glad I don't have to do it.
I don't think is there any work to be done? You got it.
10.3 approve, not approve student Chrome use and care policy updates.
I don't know, Don or Dan, if you can comment, this is from Steve. I think it's an annual thing. And I don't know that there's any highlights to it.
Yeah, devices not in cases will not be covered in insurance.
I don't know. The one change is that our sixth graders will be charged a fee.
And the fee will be all the same for everybody, $25.
Yeah, 6 to 12.
6 to 12.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And for what I remember, that covers insurance, right?
Yeah.
Cost.
That's new for the sixth grade in the elementary.
Perfect. They'll be ready for snow days.
I'm not.
I make a motion to approve the updates to the student Chromebook use and care policy. Motion by Director Kristen, seconded by Director Munter to approve.
I did have one question. One of the highlighted things, they forget their device. They're without their device that day then.
Yes, yep, so in the high school, that's, if you haven't noticed that, that's what that is. Yeah, in the past, we've had a media center, is basically a card, like a dozen computers, kids can sign them up for the hour. That became a hassle, because kids would sign them out, not return them, or somebody may forget to log out, and the next person would then utilize that computer, but under somebody else's login. And so we had some issues that way too,
The
so.
biggest issue there was kids knew that those were there and didn't take care of it, didn't worry about their own problem.
Yeah.
Just left them at home or left them in the locker and used one all the time. And that's not the intent of it. So.
Yep.
Steve and Kathy came up with this plan. Trying to teach responsibility as well.
Yeah. Any further discussion? Okay, motion on the table. I approved, Director Munter seconded. No further discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. 10.4, approve not approve school term substitute rate increase from half day of 55 or full day rate of 110 to 62.50 or full day rate of 125.
So we increased the substitute teacher pay from 125 to 150 for a full day. So a half day is 75 for that. And currently we're at 100. We were at 110, excuse me. And so we'd be bumping the para substitute pay to 125, 62.50 for half day and 125 for full day. The recommendation, administrative recommendation would be for approval of that.
Make a motion to approve.
What's a school term substitute? I don't know if I'm familiar with
Para,
that. Okay.
yeah. Para, cook,
So like support staff.
support staff. Yep. My bad. Yep. And we will have now addressed every group in our system between the negotiations.
Does the handbook have to get updated then?
Yeah, it would be updated if you have it.
So we went through all the rights and stuff, and so you guys said something that never came up during
It did not.
negotiations.
Right.
So,
Yeah, okay. I don't think it's part of that book.
It did come up, prior to this, we actually, you guys approved this last year. Prior to this, our school term employees were paid from year to year. Everyone was all over the place. So that's why we went with a flat rate, just like teachers. And, but then teachers got increased, so we got all of that, parents,
do we know where we're at in fact? Is it hard to find? Do we have a list of like substitute call
Yes,
for that sort of stuff?
yes.
Is this competitive as substitute teachers?
Yeah, this one keeps us competitive.
So we got a motion by Director Marcus. Seconded by Director Bossler to approve the rate increase for school term substitute rate. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. 10.5, approve, not approve, earned safe and sick time policy for support staff and handbook.
Mandated by earned safe and sick time is a new mandate from the state, passing the legislation a year ago. This puts it in as a part of our policy. We're following exactly what the state advises us to follow. It's really no, it's what it is. Yeah. Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Director Bossler, seconded by Director DuPont to approve the policy update for support staff handbook. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Approve, not approve resolution related to the election of school board members and calling the school district general election.
Again, just procedural
Sure.
to prepare for the November election.
Then make that motion.
Second.
Motion by Director Christensen, seconded by Director Vossler to approve resolution. Oh, is this a roll call? Yeah, resolution, okay. Approve, resolution related to the election of school board members and calling the school district general election. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll have a roll call vote. Director Dupont,
Yes.
Director Munter, Director Vossler,
Yes.
Director Marcus,
Yes.
Director Kristen, yes. Carries. Approve, not approve resolution filling a school board vacancy by appointment. Last week we had a couple of interviews, the policy personnel committee had a couple of interviews, very good candidates. And we decided to recommend Will Getch. Getch, to be appointed to the open board position. There's a 30-day waiting period, so we would make the approve or not approve tonight, and then he will take his position next board meeting.
We'll get to that, because there's some counties, we don't get to 30, but first of all,
28 days before our next board
yeah,
meeting.
we'll have to deal with that when we schedule the next board meeting. But right now, so the resolution would need a roll call vote, and the name Will Getch would be put into the resolution. So this is what we're approving.
Sure.
Yep.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve the appointment.
Second.
Motion by Director Vossler, seconded by Director Marcus to approve the appointment of Will Getch as to the open school board position. Any further discussion? Seeing none, this will be a roll call vote. Director Dupont,
Yes.
Director Munter,
Yes.
Director Vossler,
Yes.
Director Marcus,
Yes.
Director Kristen, yes.
Look at me.
Yeah,
3 minutes.
yeah, that was pretty good.
You've got to sign in.
10.8, so approve, not approve transportation technology updates. Updates to the transport.
So, the transportation committee has seen application, and we have Paul on now. Paul, can you hear me?
I can. How are you doing, Todd?
Paul is going to share with the entire board a synopsis of the different options that he has presented to us. And that the transportation committee is making a recommendation for tonight. But Paul, we asked Paul to be able to be here tonight and just give us an overview of that. And then he'd be able to answer any questions. So Paul, the floor is yours.
All right, thanks. Todd, do you want me to show them around the dashboard a little bit or just kind of get into the proposals?
I think you could just give them a quick dashboard look to just so.
Okay.
They can,
Sounds good. I'll do that, and I'll try to keep it brief because I know it's getting late for you guys. So, are you able to see that on your screen?
Yep.
Okay. So unfortunately, there's not a whole lot going on in our school districts this time of night, so it's a little bit difficult to show you some of the live stuff, but I'll certainly try. The whole purpose behind Transporting was to try to create proactive bus technology that will allow you to do a lot of the same things you do with the video technology in your schools, as well as being able to tell parents and show parents exactly where their students are at all times when they're on the bus. So we are, as far as I know, the only company that has the ability to do the live video. So I'll just show you around a couple of things. So this is our dashboard. So it's a web-based solution, so you can have multiple people can have access to this. Traditionally, what the technology that's on school buses right now is a camera and a hard drive. And the only person that seems to be able to have the opportunity to do that is the transportation director. So that job gets very busy along with all the other things that Alan does in your district. So the idea is to be able to spread or maybe widen that funnel a little bit. So you can have your principals have access to this, the Todd could have access, your police liaison officers can have access. So it gives more people visibility of what's going on in the buses. So I'll just go over a couple of the tabs down here. I call these tiles. So the overview tab, this is our GPS aspect. So what we provide for school districts is live video, second by second GPS. We provide tablets with turn by turn directions. We also have student ridership where students can scan on and off. And we also have an app. It's called Bus Compass that parents can download. So they would get notifications when their child got on or off the bus, where the bus is, when it's going to be at the bus stop. So really helps with that communication.
Paul, sorry to interrupt right now, but did you say when their kid gets on and off the bus? So how does that work? Do they have to scan in?
Yeah, so they're basically there's multiple ways. I always use the word scan because that makes the most sense to most people. But so when the bus is driving along, the tablet shows the turn by turn directions. When the bus stops in a designated area, the tablet will turn from the turn by turn directions to all the students associated with that bus stop to either get on or off. So when let's say the students are getting on the bus, there's multiple ways you can use an RFID tag. So there's a little scanner there that they can, scan the RFID tag. You can use QR codes. You can use barcodes. You can use a 10-digit pad. So there's multiple ways for the students to get on and off the bus, or to send notification not only to this system but also to their parents if they have the app. The tablet is also a touchpad. So when that bus goes from the turn by turn to the students, there's pictures associated with that also. So they can just tap their picture as well. So as soon as that notification happens, it goes to the bus or to the director's dashboard here, and also to the parents. So multiple ways for them to be able to do this. I'm just going to zoom in. So this is our GPS. So again, if this was a typical morning, and this is in Liberty, Missouri, there'd be 90 buses driving all over the place. But obviously it's a little late at night. So I think I did find one bus that is live. Yeah. So if I click on this bus right here, this will pull up the live view that's in the bus over here. And at some point in time, it was just working. I'm not sure exactly why it's not working right now, but like I said, that would provide the live view into the bus. One of the systems the thing that's very different about our system is that what we provide for the schools, it's not cameras and a hard drive. We provide a camera, the cameras on the bus, as well as a small computer on each bus. We call it the attendant. So on that attendant is housed the cellular. That's how we do the live video. We also provide Wi-Fi for all the students. That's where the GPS is housed. And it also incorporates there goes the live view. Just took a bit to kick in. So there's a live view into that bus. This is in Liberty, Missouri. But also on there, it incorporates about 2 terabytes of hard drive space. So, for your routes there, you'd be able to get anywhere from about 60 to 90 days of recorded content on that computer before it starts overwriting. So this is where you can see, this is a thing that's very unique about our system, is that you do have the ability to watch live into the bus. Not that you're going to be sitting and watching the bus go down the road, but again, if you think about the technology you have in your buildings, this is the technology you have. There's some place that you have the ability to pull up all the screens. You can look at live video, or you can go back in time. And it just makes things much, much more proactive. So that's the GPS aspect of this. So, Alan would be able to see, and again, you could have multiple screens with this, in other buildings if they want to be able to see where all their buses are. Another tab here is the buses tab. So if I click on that, This would give you kind of where all the buses are. Again, they have about 100 buses in this particular place. This bus, this 432, yeah, 432. So this one now is pulled into the bus garage, but you can see it's still live. So the bus is turned off. So what happens is our system will stay live for about, and you can set it however you want, anywhere from about 1 to 6 hours. So the idea being is that, let's say the buses get back to the bus garage after morning. Alan gets a phone call, a parent's upset about something that happened on the bus. The typical answer would be, hey, I need to get back to you. I need to find the hard drive and I need to look into this. With our system, you can actually go directly into that. So I could just ask the parent, what bus? 432. I can click on that. You can see now that the bus is connected to the Wi-Fi. So you do need to have Wi-Fi on your bus lot. So if I just scroll down a little bit, and if I go into this review recent video, so this, you can see this bus has only been live, I guess, for about 2 minutes. But you can, go into any of these other times here. So you can actually have the ability, while that parent is on the phone, to be able to say, okay, what time did this happen? Well, it happened about 7:30. The phone call came in. This particular camera or bus has 4 different cameras. You could ask, where'd your child sit? Usually towards the middle of the bus. So here's the middle of the bus. So you can go directly to that timeline. Okay, yep, I see your daughter. She's got a blue jacket on, right? Yep. Yeah, I see what's going on here. It's just a much more proactive situation to be able to do that. And, again, with our cameras, you do have the ability to scan in. You can see the clarity of this. And this is actually only in our mid-range. Our cameras are recording low, medium, and high definition. So makes it much more proactive, very much like the technology you have in your buildings. The offloaded video, this is where the offloaded video sits. So let's say if you actually have something that happened, you want to keep it, and you can keep it indefinitely. This is where the offloaded video would reside. So that, if Alan says, well, okay, I'm going to download this video, he could tell the elementary principal, hey, go into bus 502. It's on, August 14th. And, you could click here, and that would get the video to upload. Sometimes it takes a minute to pull it up. This is in the high definition. There it goes. So this is the video that was offloaded. So you can see the video, and at the same time, you can see directly on the GPS screen where the bus is. So again, the ability to widen that funnel, make things more efficient, be able to get resolutions of things much quicker is really, really, this is a really strong system for that. You can also monitor buses live. So I kind of view this as a recruitment tool and a retention tool for your drivers. You guys as board members, I'm sure, are aware of the struggles that we have with, keeping and recruiting bus drivers. So this is a way where Alan or, again, the principals would have the ability to monitor buses. So let's say you've got a couple, 2, 3 buses that are giving the bus driver more trouble. You can actually monitor them live. And be able to see kind of what's going on. And then the other thing about it is we have the ability to talk into the buses. So I don't want to misrepresent this. This is not a live 2-way conversation. So basically, if you're monitoring the bus and you want to talk into it, you click the plus sign here, you'd hit start recording, talk to the computer as I am, hit stop recording, and then you hit play. That would take over the audio system in the bus, and that announcement would be made. So,
Like Darsky, knock it on.
Yeah, exactly. So I've seen it done once live, and it was really startling to the students. It was quite kind of interesting to watch because ever since buses have been around, this has been kind of an anonymous ride. So not so much with our technology anymore. And then I think you guys asked a little bit about, I'm going to go into a different account here. Asked a little bit about student scanning on and off. So once a student scans on or off, so, again, there's been times where I'm sure it's happened in pretty much every district. Bobby was supposed to get off here, but Bobby didn't, and Bobby's a second grader and he doesn't know his, phone number, whatever the case might be. So there's a panic parent, everybody's panicking. So with our system, let's say, if I click on this, so please keep in mind, this is my demo account. So let's say I am looking for, let's say myself. Actually, I'm not in there. So let's say I'm looking for Brad Pitt. So I just need to click on Brad Pitt's name, and you can see it pulls up the picture. It pulls all the student data that's pulled in from your student information system. And then if you scroll all the way down to the bottom down here, where it says recent activity, I haven't done anything with this in a while now, but right here is where it would say exactly where Brad got on or off the bus, even if it was the wrong stop or the wrong bus. That's a whole nother story, but it would notify not only the system, but the parents' app of where that student got on or off the bus. So within about 3 clicks of a mouse, you'd be able to tell that parent exactly where that student got on or off. And there's even a link that's associated with our system takes like snapshots of any event that happens. So when a student scans on or scans off, that's considered an event. So when you clicked on that student's name, you'd be able to even see the picture of the student that was scanning on or off. So you could even reassure the parent, hey, yep, I saw Bobby get off. This is the address. He had his blue jacket on. And again, a very good way to take a very panicky parent and setting them at ease. And then this is the bus compass. So you have the ability for bus compass to be able to push out notifications. So you can push it out to the entire student body if you wanted to, or you can get very granular and you can actually just push it out. Let's say a bus breaks down. You can push it out to the students or to the parents of the students that are on the bus because you know exactly who's on. And you can tell the parent, the bus broke down, everybody's fine, another bus is on the way. But you can also communicate with the parents of the students that aren't on the bus yet, letting them know that there's going to be a delay. So it's a really good communication tool with the parents. And then lastly, there's an alerts button here. There's lots more to this, but I wanted to try to keep this short for you guys. The alerts button basically would tell you if there's an issue with any of the cameras or anything on your bus. Because right now, the only way that you can tell if your cameras or the hard drive is not working is that Alan's physically got to crawl on there and test to see if they're working. With ours, it will give you an alert and a warning saying, like Ethernet disconnect is one where there's a camera issue. So we have actually 4 live people that live in Kansas City. Everything we make is manufactured in the United States except the tablet. It's manufactured in the Kansas City area. But we also have 4 people that are our customer service. They all speak English. They all answer the phone. They return emails. We actually want to have a relationship with our districts. We have monthly check-ins. So, but on this alert section, if there's a camera that's not working, they could work with Alan to troubleshoot. A lot of times they can remotely crawl on and find out what's going on. They can do a lot of things from our end. If we can't do it, if we can't get it up and running, we'll send you a new camera. We have a 4-year warranty on all our parts. We'll send you a camera. We just ask you to take the old one out, put it back in the box, and ship it back to us. So a lot of technology here. That's a very, very quick overview. Any questions on this?
No, appreciate that, Paul. I was just kind of curious. I mean, I see professional installation. What's the turnaround time for getting something installed in the buses?
Well, that's a good question. I've been talking to our install team because I've got there's another district in Wisconsin we're trying to get installed. So making the assumption that you guys are going to be moving forward, it would be sometime in the next week or 2.
Okay. And could you go through the difference in these 3 options?
Yep. I'm going to stop sharing here. All right. Do you have the ones in front of you?
Yeah, they do.
Okay. So there's 3 different levels, and it's safe, safer, and safest. So our safe is our base level. So with the base level includes the live video, the GPS, the Wi-Fi, the software that I showed you, the director's dashboard. That's what's included in that particular option. And then you can see the number of cameras that we have included in, and that's what Alan said he'd like to have on the buses. So that's level the safest. Safe is the kind of the base level. Safer, we add in a tablet. So with the tablet comes the turn-by-turn directions. So we can digitally get all your routes put into our system. And then, it operates very much like your phone does. So it'll show you where to go. It's got printed directions, and it also has audible directions for your drivers. So it's great for your subs, great for new drivers, to make things a lot less stressful. On that tablet, every single route will be on every single tablet. So if bus 1 usually runs route 1, but it needs to run route 2, you would simply just select a different route on there on the tablet. And it's basically for the drivers, you're basically touching the tablet twice and the directions pop up. I'm sorry, what was that?
Will that tablet, let's say there's a family on vacation or whatever, and you don't have to pick those kids up. Will it optimize the route? Can you tell it
No.
Spencer on this week?
No, it won't. The reason being is that we won't let it. It certainly could, but there's certain roads that you maybe don't want your buses going down, and the reason we don't optimize is because of that. We want to make sure that if there is a change in routes, that Alan has to approve that route. It's you just don't want those buses going down a dead end road or something. Whatever it happened might be. So, and then go ahead.
If a kid from another bus, let's say they're, going home with little Timmy on Friday for a sleepover, will it still be able to track, said he got on bus 5 instead of bus 6 and got off with his friend at his house?
Yeah, so it'll still track it. So what'll happen is when that student either scans on or off the bus, again, I use the word scan, but a warning will pop up on the tablet. It'll audibly beep for the driver to notice that, hey, this is the wrong stop or the wrong bus. So the driver has the ability to accept or deny. So if they deny, then obviously they're not going to get on the bus. If they accept that, then those notifications will go out to the parents as well. So
we would have to, Paul, just let me edit a little bit here. We would have to come up with our protocol to allow that, and because right now kids get on any bus, and I'm sure our drivers don't check that necessarily, but like a note or a principal approval for Timmy to go home with Johnny tonight and show the bus driver something so he can accept that kid. Because I think the default would be not to let those kids on, because is it the thing the 2 kids align, or did the parents align, schedule it on? And conversely, on a middle school kid particular, or a little older child, they may choose to get off before they're supposed to, or not get on, or whatever. And again, we would want to be able to notify parents, little Johnny didn't do what he was supposed to do, and he got off at Freddie's house. And so we could tell the parent that.
yeah, and if the parents have the app, they'd get notification of that as well too. So
They went, yeah, right.
then the last level is the safest, and again, now that one incorporates the student ridership, with the scanner or whatever it is, and we provide that is part of our proposal to you, is that we provide whatever the mechanism for you to be able to get your students on and off the buses. And the parent app, I guess I should mention. Oh, by the way, before I forget to mention this, because I always do, everything I showed you on that dashboard, you can do on your phone or tablet as well.
And then Alan, I did include, see this. Where's my? Well, I did include this, transport and solutions, routing management and technology advancement. I don't know. I've got it as additional.
Yeah, it would be.
What is that?
So a lot of our smaller districts, because, most of our transportation directors are getting pulled 12 different ways, where they kind of run into the cameras and the GPS and all that. It's very simple. We install and it starts working and it's great. There is some work to be able to get those routes put in. So a lot of times we kind of run into roadblocks there. So we actually have a former transportation director that works for us now. And so we're offering the ability for that person, or his name's Jeff, to be able to build the routes and get them into your system. Also get all the students in there. So it kind of gets you over the hump. And then from that point on, Alan would have the ability to kind of maintain the routes, because your routes probably don't change a whole lot year to year. So it's just kind of getting that one time, okay, we need to get all these routes in there so that we can get up and running with this. So that was a struggle for a lot of our smaller districts, because they just don't have a lot of the resources our bigger ones do. So we've just implemented this, and it's been very, very helpful and very well received by some of our smaller to medium-sized districts.
And that's at $125 per bus, is that?
Per bus. Yep, not per route, per bus. So we understand there's probably more than one route per bus, but we just figure that in.
And then the last thing, Paul, that I have is just the lease payment option is spread out over 4 years. Is that accurate?
Yes. So it's called a fair market value lease. So, it's not a lease to own, but it's a fair market value. So meaning that there'll be a residual value left at the end of that. So every 4 years, you guys would get new equipment, but you're taking all of the upfront cost, the installation cost, and then 4 years of subscription fees, kind of lump it all together, add about 9% interest. So it comes out to about 2% a year. It's very cheap. And then divide it by 4. And those would be your 4 monthly or 4 yearly payments. So it's a way to kind of offset some of the maybe upfront costs that you wouldn't incur in 1 year. So another option for you.
At the end of those 4 years, then you say we need to create a new lease.
Yeah, you can either buy out the remaining value, which, this is kind of new to us, so I can't really honestly answer what that number would be. It wouldn't be much. Or that you would just continue on with those lease payments and you'd get new. It's like leasing a car, basically. You'd get new, the upgraded equipment and all. So
if we were to purchase the total or pay for the total upfront cost.
Yep.
Do you expect the technology to be good beyond 4 years?
Yes. The main piece in that technology is what we call the attendant, or that computer. So this version, which is all solid state now, it's been operating at a really high level. That was just released last July. Not this past July, the year before. So it's been out for about a year. Camera technology, we built all our cameras. The cameras you guys would receive would be our brand new ones. So that technology doesn't change a whole bunch. So the only piece that would be, that attendant. So, we have districts right now that are on their 6th year with our version 3 attendant, and they're operating just fine.
Okay, then last question, sorry.
No worries.
There is an annual fee to run the system.
Correct.
Okay. Is that included where it says total purchase price of hardware installation and 4 years of subscription fees?
That's correct. Yep.
In that total? Okay.
Yep.
All right. Any other questions for Paul?
Thanks for the opportunity, guys. I appreciate your time.
Good.
Yeah. Good.
All right, we're gonna sign off, Paul. Thank you.
All right. Just feel free to call if you have any questions. I'm just hanging out. So.
We'll be in touch with you tomorrow sometime.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thanks.
Alan, what do you think?
I've been kind of going back and forth on the leasing and buying it outright. With the leasing, it's less money outright. But then if something does happen down the line, I'll say 6 years down the road, which I don't, nobody can foretell the future. It would be nice to have the latest and the greatest. Because if you go by your cell phones, I mean, they're constantly being outdated. you know, no matter what anybody says, technology is always gonna try to get better. Unless something happens where everything crashes. But either way, I think we'd be fine. We're small enough. I don't think we're gonna even touch. Like, I plan to take care of the stuff a lot better. And I mean, yes, there's possibility of a student reaching up and slapping it, knocking it down, breaking a camera, whatever. But the actual updating a camera versus updating everything every 4 years, I guess I kind of was hoping you guys would make that decision because I'm torn between them both.
Yeah.
Because I think the technology would still be there for what we would need it for. The cameras, the quality of the cameras, I can't foresee that going bad in the next 10 years, you know. But I don't know, but that's kind of where I'm at on it, I guess.
Sure. Don and Dan, I suppose, I mean, what are your thoughts as far as having this type of technology?
I mean, it's great. I mean, when you look at the big picture, but my biggest thing is if you're spending this money, it has to be used.
Yeah.
And we have to be well trained and skilled in this, and then you have to have people to do it. I mean, how much of this can happen on your end? And you know what I'm saying?
Like, what do you mean? Question, I guess.
I mean, with all the features to it, I mean, like, do we need all those features? And then who's gonna monitor it all the time?
I think you don't have to monitor it. It's just there where something should come up.
Should come on.
Or like, let's say, because just a little bit, I was here, because I started in April this year. There was many times I wish we had cameras on the buses.
Yeah.
For accusations made,
Oh, yeah.
things left behind, just different, you know, Jimmy slapped Joe, you know, we had no proof of it. Here, you can pull it up, say, hey, here's what your car's doing. Our biggest thing, I think, is stabbing at the seats. You know, that's a huge cost. That takes my time to replace it. They could take anywhere from an hour to 3 hours to replace, depending on the bus. You know, that'd be a huge saver because, you know, if you call a kid out, we don't have assigned seatings. You call a kid out, well, then you got mom and dad calling saying that you can't abuse my kid. Well, if you got that on camera, I'm sorry, there's no arguing with that.
So, and I think it's great. It's just, and that's the same frustration I have is when the camera's not working or you can't get a view of something. But let's say we're able to add more cameras on buses. And, you know, as he mentioned proactive, and I understand that too, but when we do have cameras on kids and you see what happens, it's dealt with.
Yeah.
Do we need all the bells and whistles of this?
The tracking on and off would be nice, you know, just because bus drivers, especially subbing, ain't gonna remember all the kids' names.
Yeah.
You know, if you end up getting off at the wrong stop, they're scanning on, you know exactly where the kid's at.
And quite understand, what is that scan?
Is that only available with options?
So what
Yeah.
I would recommend the highest option, just because they can all use their lunch numbers. They wouldn't have to carry a fob, they wouldn't have to carry a scanner. Everybody knows their lunch numbers. And that lunch number.
Type it into the 10
Yeah.
Yeah.
when they get on, when they
Yeah,
get.
just like when I'm going through lunch time.
Then you're covering the bus drivers, you're covering bus drivers, you know, but the way the world is going, everybody's super happy, everybody's this, you know, it's an extra protection for the school.
Because the parents, you know, my kids were going to school in Fargo, and I recognize a big difference, right, in student population. My son got on the wrong bus, got dropped off somewhere. This like day 4 of like my first year here. He's talking about a panicky parent. Yeah. I mean, I'm 2 hours away. What do I do? Where is he? And this whole idea of scanning on, scanning off, being able to track. And like I said, I get it. We're much smaller, but I also agree with the fact that when we have a sub bus driver, you know, they're not gonna know everybody and that they get off the right spot and just different things of that nature. And I think just even for ease of driving for the driver, because it's turn by turn.
Yep, turn by turn.
I mean,
I wonder
it's,
if you could create a less intimidating environment for potential drivers, not having to memorize
See, the bus driver doesn't have to do anything to that. It'll
Right.
all be uploaded.
It's all there.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, like, if I was thinking about driving bus like that, we're trying to remember a route, that's a nightmare to try to figure out.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's on the iPad, I just drive, that's easy.
I think with any technology we buy for the district, whether it's something like this, we talk cameras, we talk, safety and security. We just have to caution ourselves that we're overbuying. Because I think Dan raises some good questions there. And then we also have to think about the user friendliness of the technology. And the ability for our staff to be able to run it.
School starts in 14 days.
Yeah.
Thinking of trying to have this and.
And if that's something that we're looking at doing, that option for them to upload all the routes.
Yeah, you can start $25 a bus.
I mean, that's
14 buses.
Yep.
What about the change of all the student information? Cause that's gonna fluctuate. Like who will be updating? You know, if we went for that,
Rollovers.
I think it pulls.
Yeah, if
so
it connects with Synergy, it would just be immediate.
Okay.
So as soon as Lana or Michelle adds a student into our Synergy system, it should
It automatically goes on.
automatically.
You just have to assign them to a route.
So, yes.
We haven't had working cameras in buses for how many?
There's none that work on any of the buses.
So let's go down that route. I mean, let's buy new cameras for our buses. Does that get us enough of what we need, or is this the technology we need? I mean, we're operating with no cameras right now. We put cameras on, but not the web-based system that this is. When our cameras were working in the past, what would be a process, Dan?
Yeah, well, it's
So Johnny's mom calls and says,
something happened,
Something
so
happened.
I was limited, when they are working, you're limited to one camera angle. So then you can't actually see what's happening. What I like about it is, like, all of our buses, we have 4 cameras on our buses.
Yeah.
Multiple, so you can see everything.
So you could zoom in and read what they come on
Yeah.
the phone.
Yeah, because, the system we currently have, you have 1 camera, maybe some will have 2 front and back, something happens in the middle, you can't see it, and it's the angle of it, like when you show the side angle, you can see like 6 to 8 seats there. That's where something bad's gonna happen, it's gonna happen there, in between the seats. When you're looking straight down towards the back or from the back to the front, you're not. So that is, I think the biggest thing, if we have live cameras, that's gonna be very proactive, because all the kids are gonna, I mean, for us to be able to call a driver and say, or go on the speaker and just say, Johnny, you better sit, or whatever. That's very proactive, because I think that would slow down a lot of the seat cutting, and kids are watching, ears are listening. And that's what I'm saying. Can we accomplish the same thing by just adding new cameras on buses and more cameras on buses? But,
It's the problem I found with looking for cameras, getting someone to come and put them in.
Yeah.
The quality of them, I've looked at a lot. I've called many different companies. This Transcendent is a one-stop shop. That's our tracking on our buses. 90% of the trackers that are on the buses now do not work.
does
And then they check engine lights like nobody else's business.
Yeah.
We constantly have dash lights on. I unplugged the trackers on the buses now that we have on them, and all my check engine lights went off.
See,
You won't have that problem.
and that's a good asset too, because, and the way I understand, you can set it to where a parent, if it's an extracurricular activity, they can track the bus or even a route, school route.
Yep. When that bus turns on, it's active.
Yeah. I mean, so there's a lot of benefits. It's just, it's a lot of money.
So for the highest option, it looks like the lease is about 31 grand per year for the next 4 years. 35.
35.
It's option 3 for the high.
Oh. Okay, 35.
So we have anything budgeted for something?
No, this would be.
Yeah, I know, fun.
Yeah.
If you do go with the lease option, 35 grand is a decent chunk of change over the next 4 years, but it's not,
130.
yeah, right up front, it's, that would be my
I don't know,
thinking.
what are you thinking,
I mean,
a buy-in would be at the end of 4 years, I think, 10%,
I imagine it would be
20%,
a ton.
10%, I don't know.
Said if it comes out to about 2% a year in interest, that's,
Yeah, that's, you can't get that anywhere.
so, yeah.
I think the routing creation is priceless.
Yeah,
I mean, that is.
especially with the crunch we're on to get these.
How about getting our drivers
Trained.
trained? What, yeah, some kind of really land if we do it, I mean,
Touching pictures, I mean, yeah, shouldn't be too much on the
how
drive.
many of our drivers?
All the,
I don't know,
I've kind of touched base with most of the drivers already about possibly getting this to the bus, and they were all game. They were a little skeptical at first, just because of the technology side of things. I said, but you won't have to really touch anything. It's up to the students to punch in and punch off. Once you turn that key on, that tablet's turning on. And it will load up, operate itself. You just gotta select the route in the morning. We can have, the guys, the ones that come and install them, we can have everybody come and go through the demo right there.
okay,
All the bus drivers, whatever day they come, let's say they come Tuesday of next week, whatever. So I'll send out a memo to all the full-time bus drivers to come in and, hey, we're gonna get a presentation done on how to operate these computers.
Well, you'd probably want to include all our subs.
Yeah, all the subs too.
I didn't ask the question, I don't know if you did that one, but like kids scanning in and scanning out, how much does that affect the route length?
The route length,
Yeah.
it's no different than them coming on, they just hit their passcode and walk in.
Yeah.
And we've all seen how quick kids can touch those tablets.
So the driver would have to enforce that.
Yeah.
Tell them
Drivers
to
may have a master list in case someone forgets it. Their numbers.
They would have to, yeah.
Might take a little longer till they.
Yeah.
I'm inclined to say, let's try it. It sounds like a good word of safety and security for the kids and our peace of mind.
If you go with like the RFID option, is that more or?
No, they include one option. We just have to pick which option we want. Whether it's just the touch screen, the keypad, or the barcode, QR code.
I think you just want the simplest one to me, it seems like the touchpad, right?
Yeah, I would say the touchpad.
You're not worried about
New teacher pass,
someone uses their RFID thing or.
Yeah.
So we said how many kids will come
On
back?
his phone, whatever, so.
Right.
Okay.
Again, this did come through transportation committee. So they have a recommendation as well. I mean, it's been
Recommended that we
headed that way.
What was that, Jacob?
It was recommended that we bring it before the full board for
And the transportation committee's recommendation, I don't want to put words in your mouth, was to approve option 3, I believe.
I think the ridership piece was.
I've been in a panic when my daughter went to Gully when we were out of Boston, trying to find her, they couldn't find her. There's no cameras on buses, It's a panic.
I think if you solve one of those problems, it's probably paid for itself in panic.
The Wi-Fi on the bus, I think, is important for our electric buses. That provides
A lot of use of homework
some
wired, right?
opportunity there for some of our students, kids to utilize that on the way home from it, as far as the way there.
I did ask him if it would work on our way to Roseau. He said yes.
Yeah.
We'll test it.
Yeah, we said we didn't believe it.
I make a motion that we approve option 3 with a 4-year lease.
Second,
Motion by Director Christensen, seconded by Director Pond, to approve purchase of option 3, 4-year lease option.
Ask a question. And how about the extra 125 per bus?
Include that.
Include that as well?
Yeah.
Yep.
So we make sure we communicate to that.
Yeah.
Well, fine.
We don't want Alan's fingers bleeding from injury and stuff.
So how do we get all this information out? I mean, we're a little bit behind the 8 ball here.
Well, do you want to have that discussion before we vote on?
We have
Back to school.
back to school night.
Yes, or something that you could have at your transportation table.
There's always a table there for bus routes and stuff. Have a packet of information. I'm sure they've got stuff for parents info, the app and whatever else.
I can even see if he's available, if Paul's available to come that night also, so he can answer more questions.
Yeah, I would say sit them at the elementary school.
Did I hear right? They thought they could have someone here a week to install.
Yeah.
But that's all we have is.
Yeah, I mean.
And it's a 2-day install. Roughly,
Around
with
14 buses, yeah. So would it go on, when we say 14 buses, what are we all including in that?
Is that a going in?
That's all the
Contracted
buses.
one?
14 buses is all our buses we have.
Does that include mini buses and everything? Okay.
I think
Do
the
we
conversation has to have, if we can have this out by
Well, let's just say we can't. What does that mean? So first day of school, we roll,
or the second week of school. or-
yeah, and we implement when we can. As soon as we can. But we have to train our drivers, so that might require, I'm just thinking out loud, a Saturday possibly training or something like that. Or they could have training between routes.
Yeah,
They come in for their morning route.
Right.
Stay for
remote
training.
training right between routes.
Of course, most, our district-wide staff is gonna have to go. The rollout, what comes with it,
Right.
class teacher, you know.
My gut says rather than hurry it, I mean, we're gonna move as fast as we can, but if we're not ready,
Even if it's
fully ready, I don't think we try to provide, well, this is what it's gonna do, or, you know,
Right.
I think we need to be ready to say, this is what it will do, and it's gonna go into effect September 15th, or, you know, whatever that date is. Certainly, we wanna go as fast as we can, but we don't wanna take steps forward and then have to come back and. Yeah, I agree. But I mean, the buses obviously can run on the first day. They run on the first day for 100 years. Yeah. Okay.
Any further discussion? So motion on the table to approve option 3 with added routing.
Yeah.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. What's a 10.9? Purchase a bus.
Where were you for the transportation?
I forgot about it. Sorry. Okay, so approve, not approve, purchase of the school bus.
Yeah, you can see the bid that is in the packet. Alan's done a lot of work on that this spring. We were trying to decide what was the best route would be. We were looking for a pusher, and I'll call a pusher a snub nose bus. We were unable to find one, to purchase it, had a few miles on it to use. A new one is priced just incredibly
$189,000.
Yeah. We just didn't think that that would be worth our money. So but we're looking for a large bus that can be used as an activity bus. And we're getting times when we're taking multiple levels of teams to contests now. And so a large activity bus is really needed. Currently, we have our activity bus, what passengers at?
70 or 72 or 71, I think it is.
71.
Yeah.
So this is like 2 more seats. And when you see the 71 or 77, that's 3 people to a seat. And obviously, we don't travel that way with any of our high school age kids. So 2 to the seat gets to be about 2/3, obviously 2/3 of those numbers. We looked for used ones. We were unable to find those. Everyone might be doing the same thing we're doing. So the bottom line is this is a price of a brand new bus that would be predominantly an activity bus for us. And it is available. As late as today, it's still available. And the purchase price is $127,107.42. We would be looking to rid ourselves of 2 buses. One time in May or June, they agreed to take 2 buses of ours as on trade. They've now rescinded that. I will still pursue that heavily, that we could trade those 2 buses at 8,000.
4,000 apiece.
4,000 apiece, 8,000 total. If you recall, last year when we sold the bus, we got $1,333.33 or something like that. The trading would be our best route. If we are unable to strike a deal with them trading it, we would sell 2 buses outright on bid as well. But we do want to and need to rid ourselves of those 2 buses, get them off our insurance, get them out of our bus garages. They're not serving us right now. Budget wise, we have a line item for a new bus at 120,000. So this just slightly over that. So from a budget standpoint, we have budgeted for this. If you recall last year, we did not purchase a bus. We did 2 years ago. How soon did they deliver?
They have it on the lot in St. Cloud. I don't know if you guys have seen bus 21. Nancy drove it last year. It's identical to that bus, but 2 foot longer.
Is that the one with the white top?
Yep. Yes, I think hers is a white top. Jean's and hers, I think, is a white top.
Okay. So we would have it virtually within a week.
Yeah, same as the one we bought.
It's the same as Nancy's bus, that 2021, the gas that you guys
That's the
bought.
one we bought at the school board.
Oh,
I think so.
Okay.
nervous today.
I'll make this motion to approve the new bus from North Central Bus Equipment for the amount listed in the quote.
Let's try to get
Traded.
Yep.
Yes.
I know you.
Okay, could you restate that, please?
I make a motion to approve the bus purchase from North Central Bus and Equipment for the amount on the quote, $127,107.42.
Motion by Director Pond, seconded by Director Vossler to make purchase as bid. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
10.10, approve, not approve purchase of Suburban. Was this budgeted?
This is not, this was not in the budget. So we have a bid from T-Bird who we purchased a Suburban from 2 years ago. In talking with Mr. Hanlon, talking with some of our coaches, talking with our principals regarding special ed transportation, the need for a third Suburban is there, especially in the spring of the year. We have multiple smaller activities needing transportation. We have had in the past where we've taken a bus for for a group of kids that could ride in a Suburban because we have it tied up with a route depending on the time of day. And that's why the spring is a little more difficult because our 2 golf teams travel in the spring, oftentimes during the school day. This one's a little bit iffy, I'll be honest. Can we operate without it? We have. Would it enhance our transportation department and our fleet of school vehicles? Yes, it would. This is a good price, fair price. So that's information I have.
This is considered a class 3 vehicle, right?
Correct.
How many class 3 vehicles do we currently have that can
The problem
take
with,
students?
right, we have 3. We have a van and 2 Suburbans.
How close is the other Suburban to me? In the van, for that matter, the van's gotta be
The van's
close.
gotta be there.
Van's got the lowest mileage out of them.
But isn't it, you're only allowed 10 years, aren't you?
No, that's why.
Oh, that
That's
stipulation is gone,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Cause it used to be that way,
Yeah.
right? You could only, once it was 10 years old, no matter what condition,
Right.
it was
That's not true.
considered obsolete as far as hauling students. We can
Right.
still use it as a
Now we can still haul
district vehicle,
students.
okay.
Yeah.
The 2017 Suburban's getting to about 170,000 miles on it already. So that one's used to pick up for this vet vehicle majority of the time, so. That
How many
one's,
miles are on the van?
that one's got right around 50.
And what about the other Suburban?
That
What
one's
is it,
about the
20?
same. The van and the 2023 Suburban are pretty close to mileage.
Are you utilizing mini buses in the spring as much as we can? Or is it in? I'd spend money on something that wasn't budgeted, honestly.
Well, yeah.
So we've just
And
had
this
lots-
is gonna be mainly used in the spring?
Well, no, it just, the issue.
Height is crunches.
Yeah. height is
Yeah.
crunch.
But this is gonna be used first when checked out amongst all.
Well, Alan,
You probably
He's
use
a
it for
gatekeeper,
transporting
yeah.
students during the weeks as well.
Yeah. We always.
Special ed
for
or
the
special or
Suburbans.
whatever we need.
Yeah.
we have a lot of expenditure tonight in regards to transportation. And I'm not saying it's not needed stuff. It really isn't. I think we're taking some steps forward in our transportation department, that are needed, so I support them, but it's a lot of money.
How long is their quote valid? Is it something to maybe look at where we're at budget wise come December or January?
We can't be sure that it'll be there, but
Right.
yeah, I mean, they built it. He said I've got an opportunity to order one. It's what they call fleet.
Yeah.
So it's not as fancy, maybe, which is fine, serves our needs. There's no obligation obviously for us to buy it, but he called me when he was ordering, he said, I'm gonna order one. Where are you at? And I said, well, we're thinking about purchasing one. But I said, we're not committed to that yet. He said, yeah, that's no problem. I'm just gonna build it like I built your other one and get it on the lot. If you so choose, you choose. We get first crack at it. We're not obligated.
Thoughts from other directors?
I don't know. I've been part of the vehicle crunch in spring, but we've always somehow seemed to make it work. It's easy for me to say I'm not the one doing the headache and the Tetris, but
I mean, they could use the minibus too. I mean, it's,
yeah.
it would be nice to have another Suburban.
Is there 3 mini buses or just 2?
We have 2 minibuses, so.
I'm gonna make the motion not to approve the purchase of the Suburban at this time.
I don't even think we need a motion for that.
Motion to approve or not approve, since it is on, I suppose we need some action on it.
Or you could just, we could table it till the December meeting and reevaluate it.
You'll keep track of that. Okay, make a motion to table it till December board meeting and reevaluate.
I'll second. Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Motion by Director Christensen, seconded by Director Munchers to table item 10.10, purchase of new Suburban till December board meeting. Further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. 11.0, any reports? Called that, additional comments. Remember this for next year now. Anybody that's taking notes for the teachers? Yeah. June, July.
Great.
Goes both.
Yeah.
All right, 13.0, we got,
How are you doing? You keep going.
next meeting.
Well, I want to talk about the next meeting. So the appointment of Will has a 30-day waiting period for anyone because it's an appointment by the board. It can be challenged. So there's a 30-day waiting period. If you count 30 days, starting tomorrow is day one, our next board meeting comes before 30 days. I think it's important that Will participate in the next meeting. So that's a possibility would be September 19th, which would be Thursday, or wait an entire week and come on September 23rd. So the 16th is the absolute earliest it can be because the third Monday. So 1/8 or I guess it could be. Either Thursday the 19th or Monday the 23rd could be, give us 30 days waiting period. Or we appointed in October, but it seems kind of pointless because at that point, now we're down to 2 months or 2 meetings that he's up for reelection and.
What do you object to moving it to the 23rd? And it's still on a Monday?
Yeah, I think that makes most sense for people. It's a Monday, consistent with when we meet.
Let's do that. And I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion is second. Those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any adjourned?
Docking and points every 2 hours.
Yeah.
I, in between Todd's clicking of his pen and his mom.
And then Dean shooting stuff out there.
Yeah.
Dean looking stuff across.
It was almost gavel time.
Jeez. For a while.
I seen you correct him about 3 times.
Hey, I couldn't help it.